mailbag coming up. But the play of Liam McNeely since coming back after missing those 8 games has been crucial for UConn in late February.
Yeah, he returned on the 7th of February, and since then he's only averaged 18 points and 7 rebounds. Look, they need him right now because the season has rounded into shape. They know where they're going to be pretty much, and you need to be hitting on all cylinders.
Injuries, and yet the last time they met on February the 15th, the stunning upset, the biggest in the Big East Conference all season long, took place. Our officials for today's game, Pat Driscoll, Tony Chiazza, and Ed Corliss, as we get ready to get it going. Johnson and Ariarine with the toss and the tap, and it's controlled to the Huskies.
And obviously it's huge that UConn gets off to a good start in terms of an early basket. And
there it is.
There it is. That's usually what they're going to. It gets the crowd into it. Not only that.
In addition to Isaiah Coleman after a bad pass by Adewusu. Oh, a little show and a little go from Hassan Diarra. And you think about how...
I think it's a good sign, but he's a tough kid, Hassan Diarra. He's learned to play through that tendonitis in that knee.
You can bet Seton Hall knows they need to make a bucket early, and there they did not block out. Ariarine just became a spectator. The bucket for Seton Hall, even though we're only 2 minutes and 15 seconds deep. They needed that.
Yeah, they don't shoot it well from downtown, but when you're open, you have to shoot it, especially when the defense is switching and you have all that airspace between you and the next guy rotating.
One thing they can do is defend. Yeah. Right now, inside, you cannot allow Sampson.
It's on a side, so now you have to stay lifted on the other side with McNeely and the shooters.
Just a lazy pass, and Slamson Johnson has them on their feet. That sums it up. Okorafor just unable to get it to go on what was a point-blank range dunk. Caravan with a good cut could not come up with the pass. Solomon Ball. Yeah. Solo makes it a 13-3 game. Up that time by Isaiah. He rushed that shot a bit. Nice move by Stewart, but he's rejected, stays with it, and gets the putback. He's got some family. What awareness on his part to save it to a wide-open Dual.
That's a nice job by Garway to stay wide. Sometimes you start to creep in when you see that ball or help is coming, you follow it.
Mahaney leaves it for Caravan. Caracan! And the Huskies lead by... Yeah, I'm with you.
And you're at the end of the regular season as well.
Yeah, on this end of the floor, he doesn't mind if they are liberal with the whistle.
Yeah,
no question. Look at that cut. Oh, yes. Off the feet, and it was a thing of beauty from Ross.
He's got all the numbers running through his head. Plus, he played like that when he was at Seton Hall as well.
Absolutely. And regardless of their record, Seton Hall, the one thing they've always done is buy into playing defense the way he wants it played. Caravan gets them out of their funk yet again. 8 points on the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what Aleek Bay does. Prince Aleek Bay gets into the paint. He's 2 of 20 on the season from three-point range, so that it's really not his game from behind the arc. Got to get into those seams.
Yassine Felton. What a move and a beautiful time drop for Johnson. And it's, I would think so.
I don't recall Ray Allen giving me the ball that much on my senior day. That's a conversation I'm going to have with him.
You know, all the swag through the years that Ray has given you, I still can't believe you give him so much grief.
Give me the ball, man.
Reed!
That's what Terrace Reed is saying again. I think they have the most offensive weapons.
Absolutely.
Hands down in the Big East across the board.
And I don't think you'll find a better March coach. It's not as if he fell off a turnip truck when he left Arizona. There's Terrace Reed. Nice cut inside half. It's because of Garway Dual's first half.
Yeah, and I don't mind the aggressive turnovers, the unforced turnovers. You know, those are pro bono turnovers, I call them. The defense is doing nothing, Tim, and you're kind of just throwing it to a kneecap, or just kind of have to take a breath, slow down a little bit, wait till your guy gets in his spot.
Solo ball, went reversal, couldn't get it to go, and it's tipped in. Reed, I think, is going to take credit for it. His hand went. As defensive-minded as Seton Hall is, far from done.
And this is what Seton Hall did late in the game against their last game against Creighton. Full court press, but you have to get back and find shooters. Same thing you had to do against Creighton.
Well, in game number 1, UConn scored 22 in the first half. Today, almost double that with 43 points. The floor with foul trouble. Therein lies the reason Connecticut is leading by this mammoth margin right now.
You said payback game earlier, and I didn't know you meant the score, because remember, you mentioned it going to half. UConn had 22 points in that first matchup at halftime against Seton Hall.
And there's Johnson again off a beautiful dime drop. He was going to go right to the rack, forced that one a bit, looking for a whistle that did not come.
That's what Samson Johnson's reputation has done, though. You see him coming at you, you're going to try to be a little quicker.
Oh, nice cut. And a great bounce pass entry from Caravan. 47 Huskies. Again, those 4-minute increments, just find a way and slow this juggernaut down. That kind of spacing won't help. Caravan had plenty of room. And it's 50-26, and right away Shaheen looks to his bench to get some help defensively.
I think Shaheen is happy that they got 2 foul calls, 2 in a row.
Yeah. 3 fouls on this trip, and yet another turnover by Seton Hall. Diarra. Oh! Off the window.
Dewusu is just a tough player. I want to ask Emeka about, we talk about how the game has evolved and how guard play has changed. Sometimes the pace of the game has changed. Have you seen a difference in how, a Sanogo or a Klingon compared to Johnson and Terrace Reed, and then compared to you, how that game has changed down in the low block?
Yeah, the game's changed a lot. On the college level, I think with Sanogo and...
That's the one thing I'll repeat a lot. I just think you got to leave it in the players' hands. Let them jump it up.
Coleman's poor shooting continues. UConn trying to get this above the 30 mark in terms of a deficit for Seton Hall. You knew this was going to be a real tough one for the Pirates, but it's really been all UConn, even with their turnovers. And a lot of that. A missed 3 and too many offensive rebounds. Caracan, all that.
Tournament with ease.
Yeah.
And that was a loaded Georgia Tech team that you guys wound up playing with a lot of outstanding guards, and you just shut them down.
Yeah, Jared Jackson on the team, Muhammad Bynum. It was a pretty loaded team. Luke Schenscher was the big at the time.
Right.
And they had an amazing run. They actually, in the Final Four, I was actually rooting against them because they were playing OSU. Positive. I think that really battle tests you for the tournament, and when they find themselves in those positions, which you just will, I think it'll serve them great.
Look at that. Reed takes that alley-oop from Mahaney. It was a beautiful
Dude, a version of coach. I hear all these stories, and by the time I got there, he was calm, quote unquote.
And he didn't let any of us around him that could have let him know the truth before he got him to campus. He
rushed a shot, and here comes Reed the other way.
When you play a lot of minutes like Isaiah Coleman's had to play for the Seton Hall team, it wears you down. You get to this point of the season where you're on the top of everyone's scouting report. You had some big shoes to fill, all of these players. Kind of like Emeka when he came in after me. Huge shoes. And I'm not even sure he filled them, but, something we can talk about later.
Mahaney. Dewusu trying to make that cut, pass, a bounce pass for Roddy, leads to a turnover, and Jalen Stewart. My entire career. But the thing to remember about this UConn team, and by the way, they look at the Garden, their fans do, is Stores South. They will, a major part of that crowd, it won't just be St. John's fans at the Garden at next week's games as Stewart goes reversal yet again. League or all-star game variety, right? Listen to this crowd respond to Hassan Diarra. from Queens, New York, transferred in from Texas A&M, the Big East Sixth Man of the Year award winner. And you know, there's a special hug for Mamadou. He's the director of player development here at UConn. Faced a lot of knee issues throughout his career.
Big brother.
Yep.
In this conference, it's a different role.
And now for Caravan. Take a bow. You will not meet a more genuine person than Alex Caravan. You know, he's been through a lot emotionally this season, taking on the leadership role and for the dual purposes of the guy that wears the C on his jersey. Now Samson Johnson. Great way to go out for all these guys. Maybe you did.
Some things don't change, man.
Congratulations to UConn as those two friends get together. A lot of mutual respect. For Donnie Marshall,